So now we are going to do a walk through the route, one room at a time, just seeing how it goes. Right, so one important thing when you're starting, you'll see the RNG uses is up at 12. You want to be there and you just want to go right here, enter the pact, and go through. If you do anything, if you load a cast, hit Skelly, that changes. And while that won't put you off route, because Chamber 1 seed is still the same, what it will do is it will change the enemies. So you see it bothers now. Like, that's actually kind of faster. So you could even use that, you know, in your strategy potentially, if you enjoy that more. But you do have to find something that works. So it's better to just kind of go through. So we're going to start the Overexplained walkthrough here, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the notes and do each room one at a time, basically. So if we look at the notes of Chamber 1, we already kind of went over this, but start when Zag lands, dash to hammer, on count of 5, take charge shot, kill the ringer, and dash to the door. We're looking for 17 offset as we're leaving the room. Not really looking for an offset at the door because it's, it's Chamber 1. You don't really have not a lot you can do. So let's go through this room.
Well, time to go get killed again.
That was super late there, actually. But it looks like we got it, nonetheless. Okay, so that's Chamber 1. You get a feel for it, you do it. It's something you just have to do again and again until you get it right, unfortunately. So we go back to the route notes now. All right, so the next one is kill the enemies, and now you have a variable. If Zagreus has a voice line after the pickup, we summon 3 times, otherwise we summon 4 times. Here we go. Thugs and Brimstones. And usually it'll tell you what reward to take. I think in this case it's pretty clear that you're going to take the Epic Flood Flare. So the other important thing is you always have to remember until the doors unlock. See, because the RNG hasn't reset yet, Now it's reset. If you have done anything prior to this, then it won't work, basically. Then it won't be counted because it'll just be reset. So we did get a voice line there, but I was pausing, so it might be a little weird. We're looking to get to 12. Offset 12 here. So we do 1, 2, 3. We do actually need 4 here. And so now we can go ahead and here. Just make sure we got it, because that was a little weird. Okay. That I normally have 4 there. The Might of the Sea thing was just kind of a little extra, I guess. So the next notes say, and let me know if these notes are too small. I think we can do one bigger. Let's hide this. Good. So the next one is we're going to take Grasp boon from Chaos. We're going to summon twice and take the Gem Door. And we have a divergence here where we can talk to Nyx to freeze the timer, but we still end up summoning 2. The offsets just kind of work out. So here's the Grasp. Talk to Nyx to pause the timer. That allows us to have the timer paused while Sorry. I thought I was feeling good about that. It's okay, we will just reload it into Chaos. Take the Grasp, talk to Nyx. You didn't need to wait that long, but you can. 1, 2. Gets us to the 11 that we needed. Then we go through. Alright, so we're on route again. Let's check the notes. Next notes say to kill the enemies, and then if Zag says a voice line after pickup, no manipulation, no manips, otherwise cast 1. And then take the Artemis Door. So that's what we'll do. So the gemstones in this room are a little wonky because they have some weird voice lines attached to them. The longer if you wait and wait for all those voice lines to play out, obviously that takes a lot of time, but you will be pretty safe. So we got no voice line here, so we cast once, go through. And then we're on route. All right, so this one has some well strats. So we're just gonna do the, and this is where we have some branching options. So I'm just gonna kind of walk through a couple of the different ones that we figured out. But the important part is that we want to get 2 Lights of Ixion, and we want to exit the palm door at 41. And so, in this case, it says buy it, reroll the well twice, spam reroll. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I'll try and walk through all of it. Because this is one of the more complicated rooms in here. So we want to get that gold pot. You also learn the combats because they're not always the same. They follow patterns. So a little primer on how this stuff interacts with the rerolls, right? So the number of rerolls we have is important when we reroll anything because the RNG offset is reset. It uses the number of rerolls you have as a base, basically. So if I had 5 rerolls here, it wouldn't reroll to the same thing as if I have 4. We buy the Ixion, we reroll. This is the normal strategy. Nothing here we need. We reroll again. And now we want this Fateful Twist. We want it to give us a Light of Ixion, but it won't give it to us at RNG 20. It will give it to us at RNG 25. So we have a couple options here. We can either spam these voice lines to get to 25, right? And these are on a cooldown, right? We try to re-roll. We only get a voice line every so often. Or we can buy this Ichor.
Should be useful.
Which, when we get a voice line, takes us right to 25. If we didn't have a voice line, we would have needed to get another one from the reroll, right? It's all these branching paths, but it's very deterministic. Timer's paused here. You can figure it out. Then we buy this. We can see we have our Light of Ixion, and from here, it's a 10 summon. So we'll just do this normally for now.
I'm on my own.
We can do that, go through, and then that's, we wanted to end at 41. That's what we wanted. So just for an alternate, for a couple alternate ways of doing this. And we want that gold pot because gold is pretty random and it's during combat, so we can't route it. So it can be a little dicey. So another thing we can do is I found that if you spam to open the well and you can get a voice line overlapping, you reroll, you get another Fateful Twist. And if you buy that, you get another Ixion. The reason we reopen the well here is because right now the number of rolls we have is divergent, right? It's different. So we're going to see different stuff later on, unless we get down to the 1 reroll now.
How about a different set of choices then?
So we get to there. Actually, if you buy this, it ends up being an Ixion, but we can't, it doesn't work with the 3 because we end up with too many cascades. So we don't buy this. Instead, we want to get, again, to 41. And so we can either do 19 summons, which is a lot, or you can do some weird combination of casts and stuff. This is just another thing that we have. This is something I figured out on my own, right? Because this lets you not have to wait for all those voice lines. What you do here is you summon 3 times, load 3 casts, shoot 3 casts, and you summon twice more, basically, and that gets you to 41. Then you're on route. So that room can be a little complicated. There's a lot of different things you can do. Sticking with the spamming 5 reroll voice lines and doing the 10 summons is the safest. And then there's some cast strategies you can do for those 10 summons as well. So now we're in the fountain. Not going to pull the notes up for this one because this is just no manips, go through, enter shop. And we kind of already went through what shop was. I didn't get it. Oh, okay, we got it. All right, so now we have the survival room. Let's take a look at the notes for the survival room. So we're killing enemies to the gold cap. If you're not familiar, the gold cap for a survival room is 60 gold. And you want to end You can get a little more than that with something I'll explain, but you make sure to end with enough health for chaos. And now it says no manipulations, and then don't end with less than half health. You have to lose DD. We don't have to worry about that right now, but it says no manipulations. But a lot of these notes, these are the original ones from Para. They haven't been edited yet, just so I can show kind of how this stuff goes. You have to wait for voice lines in that case. So this is something that I didn't want to wait that long because it's a loss of time. You can if it's your first time going through and you just want to figure it out. I said, okay, if I summon once as soon as the gate opens and go in, then I get it. Right, so that's what I do, but you don't have to do that.
You're not going anywhere.
So in terms of the gold, we can see that now I have 65 gold. So if I get 60 gold, I'll end up at 125. But really what the game does is it says, if they haven't hit 60 gold yet, then allow enemies to drop gold. So if I had 124, having 59 gold, and then hit an enemy that gave 10 gold, I would get all 10 gold. Sorry. It's okay, nothing happened yet. So I'm at 65 gold. If I get to 124, I can then still get stuff from the enemies, basically. And then we can so what I like to do here is I go as close as possible to the 125, and then I just kill big enemies, all the while trying not to take damage. Alright, so we're getting kind of close here. So then when I get close, I just start killing the small ones. Took a little damage there, but that's okay. I get low on time, we just kind of nuke them now. I'm actually too low on health now, but we're just going to roll with it and use some save states. Yeah, the 125 being the gold you enter at plus 60. Exactly. And so I managed to get 5 extra here because I got a little distracted by the timer and the taking damage, because I took too much damage here, and I'll illustrate why. So we have a darkness reward here. Darkness gives you 5 extra HP, which will bring me to 36 total. And we have in this, because of how we had to make this route, you're on dark regeneration. So we get an additional 6 HP healing from that. So that's 11 HP, which takes us up to 42, which is enough to go in this Chaos Gate.
Fine, go
Chaos
then.
boon evolved a new effect.
1 second, let me check the notes real quick. Yeah, we want to go at 9. So we waited out the voice line, so we can just go ahead straight in. And this is going to take us down to 20 health. And we're on route. So let's I'll explain why the health is an issue when we get to the next room. Speaking of the next room, we're going to it's Chaos Gate. We're going to take Slothful Grasp, summon 8, take Poseidon mini boss. Now I'm going to show you how something can go wrong here.
In the name of Hades.
So we take this. We're going fast. We take it.
Not yet.
Oh, well, it did at that time. Okay. Never mind, I messed it up anyway. Let me load that save state. Sorry about the scene issues. Thanks for reminding me. And so as I mentioned with voice lines, they have cooldown. So if I run in here, take this,
Not here.
in this case I got the voice line, so I'm at the correct spot. Sometimes due to how cooldowns work, you can end up not getting a voice line. And so you just summon 8 times really quick and you go, and you're actually short one. So you have to make sure you're listening for that voice line. And 8 summons is a lot of time to listen for a voice line. Or in this case, what I did was alternate casts and summons. And so if you didn't get one, make sure you add one at the end. Remember that you can pause, right? It's an IGT category. You could theoretically pause after every, pause buffer, a bunch of summons or something just to make it as fast as possible. You probably don't want to do that. There's a limit to how patient people, someone can be. But yeah, so this should be correct now. All right, en route, let's take a look at the notes for the mini boss. All right, so this is kill bombers, take mirage shot, summon times 5 if you have more than half health, 6 if less, enter chaos. And so this has been a bit of a tricky room, but we'll just go through it right now.
Let's go, lads. In the name of Hades.
Oh, damn, sorry. Just 7 rooms in a row. So take Mirage Shot. And then if we take our time, so we're below half health right now, so we need 6 summons.
Not yet.
Takes us to 14. What we want, we go through and that works. If you're going quickly, you end up missing a voice line, and so we add one extra in that case. And that was something Vareem advised me on this morning. Yeah, just another one of those cases. You go through, follow them to a T, go slowly first, make your adjustments later, feel how comfortable you are, get a feel for how the game is behaving. All right, this next one's pretty simple. We just take the Slothful Shot and we cast once to go into here. Don't necessarily need to pull up the notes every time. We've seen how we do Boldy already, but we clear all the shades with casts. This prevents them from incrementing RNG after the doors unlock. Gift Boldy if you want. Check what you got. Special damage, very useful. Alright, so then once the doors are open, you are on your own. Or you're potentially falling off route. So now you be careful. Now you do a single summon. And then we do the Codex. We go down and up 7 times in this case. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, so now we are in the Tartarus End Shop. So if we look at the notes of these are very simple. It appears to be like a no manip room, no concern room. There it is. We buy Poseidon, take wave pounding, enter Meg. But we've noticed that you can end up with the wrong Meg at some point. It's very easy to tell because if you have Electo as the assist, then that's good. If you have Tisiphone as the assist, that's bad. It's not the right room, not the right seed. So there's something going on with the Charon groans with the voice lines here. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know that my strategy, which works, is to dash quickly, buy this, wait for that voice line, dash quickly, and go in here. And then we leave at 22.
Hello, Fury sister.
So then we get into the Meg room.
Never getting past me, Zach.
There's some voice lines here just because this is a fresh LO save. It doesn't really affect anything. One thing I'll note though here is try to use the save state pack to run it off the same save file that we built this off of. There's just weird stuff sometimes that happens if you try to set, because you can set the seed with the LO boon mod. Sometimes if you try to use your own save state, it just like doesn't work. All right, so we look at the manips for this one. Kill Meg, take darkness, leave gems because gems are evil, and increment RNG, and then summon 10 times. It's pretty straightforward. In terms of strategy for this one, you have enough damage to insta-phase here. So I like to preload as quickly as possible. Once she phases, you preload them. You even want to pre-fire your shot. At this point, your charge shot is still doing a ton of damage. So you do want to hit with that, not just the casts. And then another thing to note here is the 4th phase, for some reason, takes just a hair longer. Don't know if it's because of the enemy summons or what, but you'll probably fire too early a couple times.
Good.
So take this, then we summon 10 times.
Not now.
Then we go through. At this point, I'll probably stop reading from the route notes directly, just because it's I keep screwing up the scene, and also because we don't really need them at this point unless it's something special. So we go in here, we drink from the fountain, we switch to the Chaos Egg, and all this stuff could be incrementing RNG. It doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want because the next thing we do is we open this well, and we buy the Ixion,
Should help keep me going.
and then we open it again, which resets. You'll see. Again, every time you open a well the second time, it resets your RNG uses to 12. And if it's higher than that, it's because there was a voice line or something, but you do this, you have a good basis to work off of, right? If I screw up and do 3 summons instead of 4 here, I just go back to the well, and I'm back to 12. Then I can do the correct manips, which is 2 summons. I throw in a cast there because I removed the voice line, but you would have 2 summons, voice line,
Up we go then.
then you go through. And that's Tartarus. Tartarus has the most complicated rooms between the survival, all the so many chaos gates, chamber 1. It's a lot there. It's more straightforward from here, although there's still some shenanigans. So this one is 2 summons. Then we do Codex 9 up and down.
Let's pay Chaos a visit.
Then we go in. Okay, so this chaos is, we take the flayed shot, and it's a 7 summons. I like to do this as fast as possible. So what I do is right now I have summon on right bumper, cast on left bumper. I just go back and forth as quickly as possible.
I wish.
So like there, I'm done with 7 already. 2 fingers really frees up your speed. Okay, so now we're in Eurydice.
Good to be back here.
So when you're in Eurydice, you want to take a look at your money. In the next room, we're going to buy a braid to bump your cast damage, and we're going to buy a light of Ixion. So those two combined, I think, are like 75 gold, and you're probably going to get some gold from the enemies, and there's a gold pot giving you 15 gold or whatever. So make sure you have enough money for both of those with all that stuff considered, because if not, you have to either have lost a DD already or lose a DD here so that you can have access to a price of Midas. It's kind of confusing. Just have enough money. I haven't ever really had to, as long as I got the gold pot in Chamber 4, do some money boosting strats in Tartarus in the survivor room. So in this room, what the ambrosia hits is set by the seed, but it doesn't give us what we want, so we need to sneak and manip in before it calls it. So here you basically take the ambrosia and summon as quickly as you can, just once.
Can't do that.
And then we hit the cast and we hit dashes, because with this low move speed, having a lot of dashes is very good. And the reason we don't go for rush delivery is because we don't need it. We have all this plus cast damage about to pop. And so then the sequence here is 4 casts. Then we do 3 up and down, and then 1 just down. And you'll notice things like, okay, Eurydice said come again, and Zag didn't say anything back. That means this was correct. All right, so this is Asphodel Combat. This is the only combat room in Asphodel. There are a bunch of wave makers, and there are some armored bone rakers. If you've taken a DD in the previous room and you're sitting at 30 health right now, you have to be careful, because the price of Midas can be 48 HP cost, in which case you're screwed anyway, or it can be 22. If you're at 22, you can only take 1 hit from the wave makers, and if you take 1 hit from the wave makers, you're done, and you can't buy it. So if you need that money from there, make sure not to take any damage in this room. Otherwise, try not to, because it's slow and it keeps your high confidence up otherwise. So we clear this room. Get second wave.
Delicious.
Alright, so we take this bomb. Gold pot's hiding back here. So make sure you get that gold pot. We open, and so this is the case where we're going to re-roll this, and it's going to use the number of re-rolls we have left. So if we did the thing earlier, then we would where we didn't re-roll that additional time after we bought that Ixion and Tartarus, then this re-roll here
Let's see what else.
would be incorrect. So if you have lost a DD, this life essence will be a price of Midas. It will either cost 48 or 22 HP. If it's 48 and you have you're just kind of out of luck and you got to start again. So we buy this Ixion. Unfortunately, we need to leave this room at 21, and we're at 22. So we need to go back down. But easy enough, just reopen the well. And so now we need to get to 21, which would be 8 summons. But there's something very careful. We have to be very careful because there's a thing in Asphodel where the little voice line that Zag says when you're riding away on the boat, those are going to happen once per biome, unless you block them with another voice line. So in this case, we want to block it, and so we need to make sure we're summoning and getting the summon voice line very close to the boat. But and again, if you're not doing fast strats, that's okay, because you can just do
I can't.
8 summons, then you're good. If you try to drag them out as you go across or something, then to do it faster, that's when you start to run into issues. That's where Vareem and I have been running into some issues. And additionally getting voice lines from the casting, because the loading your cast can sometimes give you a voice line as well. Just stuff to watch out for. So next we do power couple. Usually want to do this as fast as possible. I like to pause buffer a bunch to see where the Stomper's going to spawn, and then pull off the 0 cycle if possible. Seems that was actually too early there.
In the name of Hades.
And their spawn locations are not set for the seed. So so that we're safe with money, we take Deadly Flourish here, because it's rare and we get to sell it in the mid-biome. Hunter's Mark seems nice, but honestly it doesn't get us any damage anywhere. So you can just ignore it. And then for this one, this is another one, because it's a Chaos Gate peculiarity, where if you have more than half health, you do one thing. Less, you do another. So in this case, it's 8 summons if you have more than half health, which we do.
Not now.
And hopefully this doesn't get messed up. Because this one can be a little wonky sometimes as well. But we're on route here.
In the name of Hades.
This one's also very simple. The end of Asphodel is very straightforward. Take excruciating shot. And we enter the hard door. No manipulations. Because we're just going into this here.
Hit the spot.
And no nips again. So as Kolobi said, and I'll make this point now, taking lava damage increments RNG, so don't do it after the room's over or you've ruined it. Okay, so now we are in the Asphodel End shop. We don't buy anything here. There's a palm slice, but you don't really need the damage. And there is a route to like pick it up and get it, but I don't even think we have enough money for it. So the important thing here is to, again, avoid the boat riding voice line. So you want your summon voice line to come out as late as possible. This is 6 summons for this case, but the way I like to do it is while we're dashing over, we load 5 casts because we have 5 casts now, and then you do the summon with the voice line just before you hit the button to go through on the boat. And this strategy works, but you have to be careful. And again, this is if you look at the RNG uses, it hasn't reset yet because the doors haven't opened. If you listen, only just then did the doors open. So if I had cast anywhere up until then, it would have gotten swallowed. But for now, I can
Not yet.
go through. And we got the Charon Groan. It's almost impossible to avoid. And we were off route by 2. Not sure why that happened. Again, when you do these kind of weird strats, these are the sorts of things that can happen now and again. So I'm going to load the fountain room just so we don't get any weirdness. I'm just going to try doing it at speed this time. Just stopping to explain things might be throwing some stuff off. I don't know.
Can't do that.
That looks better. Okay, that time it worked.
I know you missed me, Lernie, and I missed
And so some damage breakpoints for Lernie. If you have high confidence up, 2 casts and the charge shot will kill that, the main head.
you nothing.
And it looks like I don't have high confidence up, so I'm not able to one-shot the 1 cast these side heads. Or 2 cast the main heads. You just have to be a little more careful. I don't recommend waiting for things like the 4-head, because you can just kill them so quickly. Right, because you can just slide in with a dash attack and you're going to get them anyway. Yeah, your learning fights can be like 20-25 seconds or less. It's not difficult at all.
Good, no more heads.
So once this is done, again, avoiding gems, wait for the voice lines, don't touch the lava,
I'm on my own.
summon once. Kind of in the home stretch of the route here in terms of the challenging parts. There's just a lot of rooms left. So we leave the Chaos Egg on here. This is important.
Father.
Selling stuff increments and doesn't reset, unlike the purchasing well. So sell Deadly Flourish now. Don't sell it after you purchase from here. Because in this case, we
Should help keep me going.
don't actually reset the RNG. You always could, make an adjustment, but it's 19 summons from here, so you don't really want to do that. There's a couple different things you can do to get to the 19. Vreem worked on one with, let me see if I can find that actually. With Codex. Let's see if we can find it. Put it in the chat at one point. Oh, no, did not. That's fine. Okay. I mean, you can step into lava during combat. It's just after combat, don't do it. So we'll just do the 19 summons here. You can, come up with your own ways or ask in the Discord channel, like, what happens.
I wish.
But, 19 summons. It's not the end of the world. He said, probably screwing it up anyway. All right. Okay. So we're on route, and we're just going to breeze through the rest of this, and I'll just call out specific things to look for. So this is 7 up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 more down. No summons. Go on in.
Master Chaos. In the name of Hades.
And then this room is, you take Enshrouded Shot, and it's a 7 summon.
Not yet.
And then we're back in this room we saw earlier. The long spears. Most important thing for speed here is don't try and just charge shot the eyeballs, because unless it crits, it will not kill them, even with high confidence. Everything is a one shot, one cast, except for butterfly balls, which are 2.
The curse of chaos has expired.
And as mentioned, in this case, we're like in kind of in range of 1 summon. We're just gonna close it. We're gonna do
Not here.
is it 18 to get to here. Take a look. Just make sure I'm doing this right. Because the safety strat here is you reopen and you, yeah, summon 4 times, I guess. Summoning increments RNG. I couldn't get the debug box mod working for some reason. It shows exactly what's calling it, but it's basically rolling a random number to see, hey, should we play a voice line for Zag saying, oh, why can't I do this? Like, it picks a voice line, but then it doesn't do it because not enough time has passed. It's very strange. It's like a little of both. Okay, so again, we're in the mid shop. Your options are to go towards Charon. Yeah, we'll illustrate the options. You get the Groan, and you cast once, which gets you to 11. Or you just summon 4 times without the Groan.
Can't do that.
Or three times. Oh, it's because we loaded from the save state. But, 4 times without the Groan. And then you go into the fountain room. I'm breezing through these because there's really nothing to look out for. And this is a single cast. You don't need to install any mods to do the route. You want them, though, to be able to learn it, right? Because I'm using mods right now to view all this RNG stuff. It helps you the first time, and then they need to be uninstalled, for when you're doing your actual submitted run. So here we take the Jerky, 12 summons,
Not now.
and some links were posted earlier, and I'll post them in the description when I upload this video for all the resources you need to get started.
The mother of all soul catchers.
All right, so I take at the Hunter's Mark here. Yes, that's correct. But well, you did set the original seed, and so that's why you use the save states, because it's already on the seed. Huh? I didn't get the voice line that time.
I can't.
Okay, so this is like 6 summons if you get a voice line, or if you like have less than half health, which you really shouldn't at this point, because it's whatever. And then we want to end up at 15. So 5 took us there in this case. Then we go into Chaos. We're in the home stretch here. We just take another shot boon, summon twice, top left door.
I wish.
Although we might be off route because of that. No, okay, because we got that Chaos voice line, but it was fine. So the important things for the Thanatos room is don't take damage, because we want to have high confidence up for Hero's Fight, so stuff dies faster. You really don't need the health. You could let Thanatos do everything, but it's boring. And so then you also want to end around here, is the optimal spot. There are some Void Stones in this room, which can be kind of dangerous, but the real thing you want to look out for in terms of taking damage is the Spear Points jumping like that. Oh, jeez. There goes high confidence. And the, okay, hello. And Armored Chariots. This is why we don't run routes and talk at the same time. So then, just like in your normal run, you sit here until Thanatos despawns. Take the heart. Door unlocks. Again, wait for the door unlock. Summon. Once. Go through. So there's a consistent and inconsistent way to do this room. There's 2 different ways to do this room. The one that's listed, and we'll see if that works here, is cast 3 times, take the Palm Slice, hits Flood Flare,
Boon got better, huh?
and then go through. And we were -1 there. So yeah, that one can be kind of wonky. And so what the strategy that Fareem is using and shared with me is We're gonna have to do the Thanatos room again, 'cause otherwise we're gonna be off by 1. Oh well. It's fine. We'll take less damage this time. Actually, I forget what that was. I think it was... Okay. There's 2 casts when you enter the room, 2 after buying the slice, and just going as fast as possible. So you get a little bit of, you can find a slow safe strat, or you can try and do something fast that's consistent. Because the difference between Para's routes, Para's notes and our notes is that Para usually tends to go more methodically through, whereas we're going like maniacs, trying to go as fast as possible. And so we find what works for speed, knowing what works normally, right? Because we can adapt based on that. And that's the fun part, honestly, a lot, is learning how to interact with the route itself. And how the stuff works. But just running, it's fun too. Took a lot of damage there.
It's clear. Go.
Can't do that.
Okay, so we're going to cast twice upon entering the room. Buy it. Cast 2 more times.
Boon got better, huh?
And then we're good. -2 that time. Now I'm just confused. Alright, we're just going to load right into the end shop and assume we're off by 1. Nope, wasn't off by 1.
That boon got better, huh?
Alright, that was correct. That's +1 this time. There's some weird stuff with the door actually giving an increment or not. So we're going to do 1 after.
That boon got better, huh?
My goodness. This room is much more consistent. Just running through it, I rarely have issues with it.
That boon got better, huh?
We're off by 2 here. Okay, we were down 1 in that case. My goodness. Yeah, so this is when it gets sort of frustrating. But you find your strategies that work.
That boon got better, huh?
This is conspiring against me, I swear.
That boon got better, huh? Can't do that.
This is being very difficult right now. This is just because I'm loading into the save state. I need to wrap this up, sort of, so we're just going to go right into heroes so we can blow through Styx. Apologize for not actually illustrating that. Alright, so for heroes, you don't need Meg. It'll only slow you down. You nail them both in there, make sure Sirius doesn't jump away. Because Theseus can't act, and none of the other of them act before you phase them, it really doesn't do anything. Like, he has net phasing issues. Here you want to wait till the cheers finish. You can go say hi to the Shade. Once the cheers are done, take it. I think, what are we getting, 9 summons? Yeah, 9.
Not yet. My boon from Master Chaos has evolved.
Alright, here we switch to Hourglass. And buy a Braid. And that will last us through Hades. So then we reopen the well.
Not here.
3 summons
To
go
the
through.
surface.
So the big things to look out for in Styx are voice lines coming or not coming. So you're going to want to pause and check the manips a lot, and remember to add a summon or a cast if you didn't get a voice line come out. And
Can't do that.
also stuff falling on pots, although I think that the rooms are pretty good in terms of pillars. So that last one was 5 summons. This one you dash right to this palm door. If you get a voice line like that, you're good, you just go in. If you don't get a voice line, you summon once. Oh, hold on, I forgot to check the manips. I'll just go straight through. because I'm so used to it. All right, let me just pull this over here. All right, so this is summon times 2.
I can't.
Get to 11.
Do not mess with me right now.
So this is summon times 5. But because... Okay, no, that was correct. No, we were off by 1. Okay, so we're going to reset in the beginning of Styx. So in that case, the voice line got swallowed by... The voice line got swallowed by...
Let's see here.
Voice line got swallowed by the end room voice line, so we needed an extra one. Oh. Sorry, I'm really autopiloting here. Okay. This is 2 summons in here.
Let's see here. Hello? I can't. Feel sick.
So that's 6 instead of 5 here.
Set.
And at this point, the bother has already been decided, so we don't need any manips here. And then this is the bother mini boss. No Meg. How did I only end up with 1 Meg? Oh, right, this is safe state.
The power of the gods.
Oh, you palm wave pounding here. No manips again.
I'm back.
Right to the hammer door. Summon once.
Not now.
Make sure you get that voice line. No manips here. And then this next room is summon times 4, and these are the last manips in the route.
I'm on my own.
Because after this, the sacker was decided. Go through, and this is your 2 sack.
Here we are.
Take whichever hammer you want, doesn't matter. Ferocious card seems nice, but you're really not, you probably should just take Shot and Rush.
This stuff.
At this point, if you add any extra manips and RNGs, it's going to change the Hades summons. But I don't know if we didn't really route the Hades summons anyway. So if you find one that's more cooperative, then you can go from there. The fastest Hades fight I've had is about 23.5 seconds. You need to like preload and like really manage everything really nicely, but you can get there. I might have been off route in the fountain. I might have been off route in the fountain room because it was the wrong fountain room there. Like I may have, if I didn't take care not to do any RNG increments in the last room. Like I think what I was doing was I was spamming the interact button to open the door, which when you fail to do it once, it increments it. But it was already going to be the sack room, so I just went right in.
You are
Yeah, no issue there. So no Meg here because you have. So with high confidence up, 3 casts will take him out through 1 phase here. We're going to do this slowly just to illustrate the damage breakpoints. So three casts takes you through first phase. Plus the charge shot, of course. So it takes 4 or 5 there. So what you can also do is you can Meg just to make things a little faster. There you go. And that's the route. Well, it took a little longer than I thought, but
See you at home.
I guess that's kind of how it goes.